When it's time to scale your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to grow the way you want. Like, all the way. Stack more sales with the best converting checkout on the planet. Track your cha-chings from every channel, right in one spot. And turn real-time reporting into big-time opportunities. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
You open the fridge, there's nothing there. So what's it gonna be? Greasy pizza? Sad drive-thru burgers? Dish by Blue Apron is for nights like that. These are the pre-made meals of your dreams. At least 20 grams of protein, no artificial flavors or colors, no chopping, no cleanup, no guilt. Keep the flavor. Ditch the subscription. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Well, I was not looking forward to that game at all before it. I was kind of like, had a long work day.
Didn't you predict that United would lose?
Oh, did I?
I can't remember now.
I think, yeah, might have done. Yeah, might have predicted a 2-1 loss based on a very understrength team being selected. And in fact, and it was you that influenced me to say he was going to pick an understrength team. You convinced me he would do that. But he didn't. He picked a very strong team, and their player decided to Superman catch the ball.
So odd.
Very,
so,
very
I mean,
strange.
look, he's picked a very strong team at the back and through midfield, but then there's some few changes up front there.
Yeah.
I mean, Mata's played, never a good sign, really, although he actually had a very good game, and Ighalo made his first start. Thing with Ighalo is, he's I guess we'll come on to the actual game. Just my impression of Ighalo from his first, 12 minutes and then this game is that he's neither that quick, nor that big, nor that kind of strong. All the things we were sort of promised, really.
I mean, he's never been that, has he? He's always been sort of. He's decent with his back to goal, holding off a defender.
He's all right there, yeah.
And he's got some skill. He's got some
sort of
some tech. Yeah, he's not very good, but we knew he's not very. That's not
no. He's fine for a game like this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
The weird thing about this game is within the first 5 minutes. 5-6 minutes, Bruges had 2 really good chances. Really good chances.
15 minutes, first 15 minutes. But yeah, they did. But United had already had 2 really good chances by that point as well. They had, not necessarily 2 really good chances, but nice patterns of play that ended with decent shots. There was the Mata one from outside the box that Mignolet saved somewhat comfortably. And the one that I think Mignolet pushed onto the post from Fernandes, or possibly it just hit the post a long range, and those was in the same period of time. But it massively. They didn't have another good chance that I saw the whole rest of the game.
Yeah, I know,
because it all swung on one moment of completely unnecessary madness. I can only think he thought he was 3 yards further back than he was, because to dive in, or he's just played in front of Simon Mignolet for a really long time. So he's like, maybe I should act as the goalkeeper here, just in case the actual goalkeeper chucks it in.
No, but look, it's not like Mignolet's a complete flapper. He's a decent enough keeper. I'm not sure if he'd have saved that or not. It was a bit hard to say, really. He was getting down. It was just really odd. It wasn't on the goal line. Fine. If it's the 90th minute on the goal line, but 25 minutes into a game of this magnitude, you've got loads of time to come back. He's got to know he's going to get sent off. I just don't understand it. And it's not as if it's one of those ones where he's jumped up and he's hit his hand, or he's just reacted because it's by his face and his hand was up there. He's made the conscious decision to do it.
No, it's a save. He's literally saved it. He's gone with his
Strong left hand.
Yeah, exactly. A strong left hand. Very, very peculiar. And the ref watched a lot of replays. What I kind of want to know is why there was a review of that, like why the ref was asked to come to the monitor. I mean, I suppose we could get sidetracked by yet another pointless discussion about another VAR thing, but you know.
You see, I don't mind this version of VAR where you go to double check something.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it slowed stuff down for quite a long time, but it's a natural break in play anyway for a penalty. But I'm with you on this one. I don't know what he was checking.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, you made
denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, right? It's not like denial of the goal going in.
Yeah. I guess the video assistant could have said you might want to come and have a look at this and work out whether you think he just happens to be jumping with his hands outstretched in that direction.
Yeah, I know he slipped over. Yeah. So in the moment I thought, isn't this the triple punishment? But triple punishment is where the player has made a genuine attempt to play the ball. I was like, wow. I mean, he's made a pretty genuine attempt to play the ball there. Just
he has
with his hand.
Just, in the way that you are very, very much not allowed to do. And then Fernandes, I don't know how I'm going to keep enjoying it. I don't know how all these go in. Because this one, it really looked like Mignolet had waited long enough. And then it turns out that Bruno Fernandes does a thing in midair where he doesn't kick the ball when you think he's going to kick the ball. So he the hang time on the wait, there's going to be a lot of palpitation moments, and then he's going to score every penalty because he just scores every penalty.
I mean, he's not taken one in a really important big game.
I mean, hasn't
yet.
he? Of course he has in his career.
Oh, I'm sure he has in Sporting, but none of that counts. I mean, for United, cup final or whatever, there's going to be a few heart attacks. But look, he is genuinely looking at the keeper, and Mignolet went half second too early. Yeah,
absolutely. And then brilliant execution, no problem, easy does it. Yet another one. And so before that, there'd been some stuff. Like you said, that even I thought it was going to be quite interesting to see Maguire and Bailly in a four at the back. In the end, we just saw a bit of chaos in the first few minutes, and then basically didn't have to do anything except in an attacking sense for the rest of the game, more or less. One nice intervention from Maguire on the edge of the box. But I in theory, I really like that partnership. So I'm kind of interested to see whether it becomes a
Well, I think Maguire will benefit a lot from someone who's quick, and Bailly's definitely quicker than Lindelof. I mean, he's a heart attack waiting to happen as a defender, of course. I mean, none of those moments in this game, it wasn't necessarily necessary, of course, but we know what he's like. So if you could, I was going to say, what are the qualities of Victor Lindelof that you might want to wrap into Eric Bailly? But I'm not sure there are any that Victor Lindelof is obviously superior to Bailly in, except for the madcap brain hemorrhage piece of defending that happens once every 3 games or something.
Cal asked, is his nickname the Iceman because he melts under the slightest heat? Just very harsh, but not entirely unfair. Anyway, I wanted to note just a couple of little moments. Bruno Fernandes looked absolutely magnificent for most of this game. My favourite moment wasn't the assist. It wasn't the goal. It wasn't the absolutely stunning ball that he found Mata with, where Mata tried a 10-yard 1-2 in traffic that almost worked and would have been peak Barca. But my favourite moment was Bruno and Wan-Bissaka, where they exchanged passes. So Wan-Bissaka finds Bruno, and just an absolutely gorgeous, perfectly weighted flick back from Bruno to Wan-Bissaka, who's then in space. And his crossing, I think we can start to say this is now becoming consistently noticed. He is not whacking it at the first man almost ever now, which is quite a remarkable quick transformation.
What we do know about Bruno now from seeing the first few games of his time at United is that the thing that United scouts were apparently worried about, that he gives the ball away too often, is very, very true. 72% pass completion in this game is 72% pass completion in the other game. And there's a reason for it, of course.
Do you think it's too often? Because I'm not sure I think it's too often.
Well, it will be too often where he gives the ball away unnecessarily and United concede on the break, for sure. Yeah.
Do you think he's given the ball away like truly unnecessarily at any point, really?
Look, I think he's most of the times when he's not completing a pass, it's a deep progression. So it's a forward pass. It does look, I mean, I'm going to take back some of what I said initially, which is his stats look like Pogba's. They do, but the pattern of passing does not. All right, so he is picking the ball up in deeper areas or further forward, deeper for the opposition defence. Right, further forward areas. He's playing a lot of balls in the final third. But still, a lot of them are going astray, including ones in the midfield third. So he's pretty consistent, 70-something%. And we'll see whether that frustrates people. I mean, he's obviously got a halo right now. He's bringing the thing that United really need, which is those passes, deep progression, and attempting to find other players. We'll see 18 months down the line whether that's quite good enough for a player of that ilk. But, it's just one thought.
Wow. Wow. I'm really surprised by that take, because to me, the experience I've had of watching him is like, yeah, he tries some stuff that doesn't come off, but he's trying stuff that, first of all, loads of stuff that you don't expect to come off and it's almost always dangerous. And we've been so desperate for someone. And United fans, clearly, you say he's got a halo around him, and yeah, sure he has, but I don't think his halo is the transfer. I think his halo is his performances since the transfer. Like, he just looks like the real deal to me. And you saw the reception that he got when he came off today. It was rapturous. So, I mean,
steady on. We got some room for nuance here. I'm not saying he's playing badly. I'm just saying the one thing that United reportedly said they were concerned about turns out to be the thing that is, he does do.
I guess.
This is the verbal version of I try to be nuanced on Twitter and get a pile on.
No, it isn't. I just don't think it's a problem. Or so far, it certainly hasn't been a problem. So, if it was the reason that United didn't buy him, they're absolute idiots, because they should have bought him and we'd be miles better off now if they had, even if he does give the ball away 28% of the time. So, sure. I guess that's really the point that I'm making. It's like, that to me, I can't see how that's a problem. Maybe you could say, okay, yeah, well, in a big game, in theory, in a crucial moment, it could be vital. It's like, yeah, but also he could easily bang one in from 30 yards in a big game that would be crucial and vital. And he's just so lovelily techie, his touch looks very measured and smart as well. He seems to make, for someone who gives the ball away that often, he seems to make a lot of good decisions. And maybe that is the halo effect of the new signing. And maybe it's because we've been so used to utter mediocrity, maybe, Dan James was playing very badly before his decent shot that was saved by Delhi.
And afterwards.
Yeah, until he got subbed off.
I mean, he had another attempt later on in the game from sort of the corner of the box, didn't he? Which he skewed somewhat wide. Not quite as wide as Jesse Lingard's effort.
Oh, poor old Jesse. Poor kid.
Jesse got an assist in this game. Good for him.
Yeah.
His first shot went miles and miles wide.
Yeah, it did.
And then there was one chance he got when he was pinged the ball. I can't quite remember. McTominay fired it into him, and he was in the number 10 spot, and he tried to control it, and he went about 10 yards away from him.
Oh no, that's not the one. I'm thinking of the one where McTominay slipped a lovely through ball in, and it was a really tame shot. But then immediately after that, Ighalo, it got goal. And like you say, I mean, he was clearly a solemn moment, because he's clearly mourning the departure of a loved one and not trying to honour them with a goal. But there was not wild scenes of celebration from Ighalo when he scored. Much more serious and stern moments. But I thought he did quite well for the goal. I thought his movement was good, and it was a well worked opportunity by United.
Yeah, lovely, nice from Fernandes and Mata. Lovely touch by Mata. Always cool in those kind of situations, and Ighalo's in the right spot. Couldn't miss. And did what he needs to do, which is get onto the 6-yard box. And I have to say that is different from some of our other forwards who are not necessarily fox in the box.
Then he did well again. Some nice hold-up play and then a turn and a shot, and we were kind of all over him at that point, and it was almost not a surprise at all when we went 3-0 up. But the goal was nice when you see it the first time. Aubameyang's just scored an absolute wonder goal to put Arsenal through, by the way. It's a bit unfortunate. But you'll enjoy this one, proper Hugo Sanchez scenes. But the McTominay shot, when you see the replay, that is an absolute wonder goal from Scott McTominay. Curled it inward with his instep, striking in on the ball with his body open. Remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically passed it in, hasn't he? It's just lovely, confident, back to being Scott McTominay, I guess. And his passing was crisp throughout, I thought. He's so much better than 18 months ago in terms of his passing. I just mean just much more progressive, able to pick the right pass, not just the safe pass. No longer crab.
It's still not quite. You don't feel. I mean, you say safe. Obviously, you don't want him just playing safe passes, but you don't feel totally safe when he's progressing the ball forward in the way that you might do with some other players. But
look, he's definitely not Michael Carrick when it comes to passing.
Yeah. But he adds some real dynamism, and actually the balance. I mean, this is against 10 men Bruges, so anyone writing a 5 things we learned that doesn't start it with, we didn't learn anything, it was 10 men against Bruges.
Which will be absolutely none of the Bleacher Report, Football 365 or any other content farms that really need to file something right now. Takes on this game.
Hey, listen, Bleacher Report stopped doing 5 things we learned a long time ago because they discovered... Is
it 10 things now?
No, their key thing was you can't just do the same format over and over again. You can't just find a format that works and repeat it because the numbers just drop off over time. Anyway, that's #content talk. But yeah, lovely goal from McTominay, and just it's good to have him back around. And that balance of that midfield, I was going to say, Fred, McTominay, Mata, Fernandes. I don't quite know what you call that formation really, because Mata's not playing wide right, is he? But actually finding a way to get Mata and Fernandes both in the team, I think it's a multiplier for both of them actually.
Potentially, yeah. Look, the balance of McTominay, Fred and Fernandes being in that triangle is definitely better than we've had for most of the season. Again, for right now, it's great, and it's a midfield that is sort of top 4 capable. I'm trying to pick the right adjective there. Adjacent, I was going to say, but it's capable. Top 4 capable. Yeah. I don't think that's a midfield 3 that wins a Premier League title, but we're some way away from being there anyway. So plenty of time to upgrade and for these players to get better. And who knows what Fernandez's long-term ceiling is in the Premier League? Don't know yet. Freddie's getting better all the time. Even managed to score after we said he was a danger. Well, I said he was a danger to spectators last week. Twice. Scored twice. One of them from literally that exact point at which you said he was only likely to hurt people. But yeah, it was good. They were both good finishes. I mean, the one where Lingard set him up was pretty easy, but the next one was a little bit further out. The Chong assist. The thing about Premier League winning midfield 3 is I don't think any of us were going Wijnaldum, Henderson, and whoever the Fabinho. I get Fabinho is always. We always knew he was good, but I don't think anyone was saying that was a Premier League winning midfield 3, were they? No. Yeah, if this 3 is the Premier League winning 3, I'll be amazed. But hey, I've been wrong about plenty of things in football before, and I will be wrong again. So I'm
annoyingly, you were profoundly right about Anthony Martial in a way that it's just like, obviously, like I want Martial to be in the team because I love him and it's good for United. But mostly, I was just furious because spent 10 minutes on the last podcast going, oh, he's not injured that much. And then like the next game, no, Ed was right.
Muscle injury. I mean, who knows whether it's his fault. We get too many muscle injuries at United, and it's to do with the intensity of training, I think, and the type of game they're trying to play. Anyway, I mean, hopefully it's not too serious. I haven't heard about that. I mean, if it's weeks rather than days, that is bad news. I mean, Ighalo scored today. I don't know how dangerous he'll be against a Premier League defence. We might have to find out on Saturday because someone's got to play up there, and it sounds like or Sunday, against Everton. Seems like with the muscle injury, it will not be Martial. And what else to say about this game? Chong got 45 minutes. Glad to see him get 45 minutes. He was sort of industrious, had one good shot, didn't he? Tried a lot of things, didn't come off most of it.
No, but got the assist for the Fred goal right at the death, which
got the assist.
Kind of a reward for effort, really.
It's a half an assist, really, that kind of one. But yeah, he did it. He did all right. And look, he had one good run when he took on the defender and then shot a few inches wide, and I thought that was very good. I hope he does well because he's a player with lots of talent. It's just it's taking him a bit of time to really make his breakthrough into the team. Unlike Mason, who came on and had a few flashes at goal. Expected him to score, didn't we? Because, especially when he gets it on the right-hand side and he's running at the left back. You expect him to cut inside, take the shot. He did take one shot and it just went wide. We were like, what's going on?
And then there was that one where he kind of angled it in and missed the near post effectively. There was one right at late. By the way, I think Olympiacos might have equalised or maybe even won. I don't know how the extra time away goals rule works. But that's funny because funny things happening to Arsenal is always funny. But Greenwood took a shot later in the game from the left-hand side of the D and Mignolet dived. And he didn't. When Mignolet didn't get a hand to it, I just assumed I was going to see the net bulging, but the shot was not on target. But this is the point we've reached with Mason Greenwood now, that he has a shot from range, and you just assume it's going in, or the keeper's saving it.
Regression to the mean in terms of his XG at the moment.
So we had this conversation. He's scoring 0.3. He's scoring 0.8 Premier League goals per 90 minutes off 0.3.
That's
XG,
what happens when you keep banging them in from 25 yards.
Exactly. But the funny thing is that you said the stats nerds are going to be saying he's overrated now, which I'm sure is happening somewhere. And I asked the key question, which is who's going to be his Kelechi Iheanacho. I think this is a perfectly fine example of how statistics in football are nothing but a useful metric to understand some things by.
I mean, if they're a religion, it's a problem for you. If just as likely, if you say, "Oh, nerds, I don't believe anything about data," I think that's a problem. The game has definitely moved on, and sort of consumer level data that we get, because we're not getting all the Opta Pro data, at least here at NQAT Towers, we're on a slightly tighter budget than that for the moment. We don't get all of it, but this kind of consumer level freebie data is a good indicator. Anyway, a really good indicator is he's got 11 goals this season. He'll probably get 15 by the time the campaign's out, and that is awesome for a 17/18-year-old kid.
They were making the point on the Second Captain's podcast. I know, I'm kind of very reluctant to bang on about Jose Mourinho too much because I spent 2 years doing it, and especially that last year nearly broke me, and that kind of made me never want to talk about or watch football ever again, as did the 5 minutes I tried to watch Tottenham in the Champions League the other week. And Glenn Hoddle was saying, what's the point of all this? And that is the key existential question with Mourinho, isn't it? What's the point of all this? But they were talking on the Second Captain's podcast about the fact that, they've got all these injuries. They've got Troy Parrott, who's this kind of very promising, already capped by the Ireland national team. Jose Mourinho, as they said, has said, well, he's 17. And you know that if Rashford and Martial and Lukaku were all injured this season, and Mourinho was still the manager, he'd be saying, "Oh well, I can't possibly do anything other than play Scott McTominay up front because Mason Greenwood's only 17."
Sure, yeah. I mean, look, it's Mourinho, ultimate pragmatist, and yeah, I'm glad I don't have to watch his team every week. Barely seen Tottenham this season, and I'm quite glad of it. Yeah. The BBC minute-by-minute tracker says absolute silence inside the Emirates now. Arsenal have 2 minutes to try and win it again. Absolute silence inside the Emirates now.
Well, it was, I imagine, fairly noisy when Aubameyang scored one of the, like an all-time legendary goal, but he's just missed from 6 yards out to win it. This game is, I mean, the phrase peak Arsenal has been dramatically overused in recent years because I don't believe we have yet achieved peak Arsenal. They keep proving they've got more and more in them. Anyway, peak United to be absolutely buzzing about beating a 10-man Club Brugge 5-0, but we are, and I think that's reasonable. Should we take a little break and then maybe talk about the Everton game?
Yeah, or just before we go to the break, we won't get I don't think we get the draw until next week, but United can get Rangers.
I mean, that's who we want, isn't it?
And Gerrard. LASK, who I think are Austrian. I'm showing my lack of hipster chops right now. Wolfsburg, which would be interesting. I mean, the last time we played Wolfsburg, was that when Michael Owen scored a hat-trick? Or no,
Louis van Gaal.
We played him again after that.
Yeah, in the season
Gaal,
we didn't progress through the group stage under Louis van Gaal. I think we lost 2-1 at home. I was at that game.
Roma.
Or maybe we won 2-1.
Can Smalling play, or is he... Can you play against your parent club in Europe? I honestly don't know whether that's true in Europa.
Well, you could in my Football Manager games because I would always include that contract.
Can't. Wolves did very well to get through. Istanbul, Bayer Leverkusen, Basel, Sevilla, very good side.
Can we be drawn against Wolves? Who knows?
I think we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I want Rangers, obviously.
Check those rules, yeah. But I think we can. I don't think they keep home nations apart in the round 16.
Okay. So
anyway, there's some decent sides in there, but there's also like Inter, of course, top of the Serie A at the moment. Romelu Lukaku scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah, the idea of playing Inter and just the weird Man United B side that are somehow top of Serie A.
Rangers it is. Yeah.
Rangers.
Didn't we play Rangers when Antonio Valencia broke his leg?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I'm saying that years and years ago. Yeah. I don't remember the last time we played them before that, but it would be a fine time.
I mean, there was lots. They smashed up Manchester when they got to the Europa League final that was in Manchester and they smashed it up. So I'm sure there'll be some people with long memories and bad blood, and Steven Gerrard's the manager, so it might be, maybe I shouldn't wish for this tie actually, because
no, it'd be great. Anyway, that's to come next week, I think. In the meantime, a break. Enjoying, no question about that. If so, let others know about us. The best way to do that is leave us a review and a rating on iTunes and hit that subscribe button.
So, Everton at the weekend, talking of Steven Gerrard? No, I'm not quite. Just talking of Scousers in general. Carlo Ancelotti. Very hard to hate Carlo Ancelotti or any team that's managed by Carlo Ancelotti, in my experience. They have been substantially transformed by Ancelotti's arrival. Their form is, so they lost to Arsenal. I mean, that was a very close game. 2 big chances for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which would have made all...
He's having a good season.
He certainly is. As is now Richarlison again. I mean, they paid a lot of money for him, but, between them, 22 goals between Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. And they have substantial threats in those 2 players in particular. And
sure, yeah. I'm not sure I'd think much of Dominic Calvert-Lewin's dress sense. Gotta say, do you see the spread with him and Tom Davies?
I think this is because you are old and you wouldn't know a fire fit if it punched you in the face.
Calvert-Lewin looked like he was in a 1930s noir film.
Exactly.
Or something like that. And Tom Davis looked like he was a slight upgrade on Withnell and I. Look, smart version of it. Anyway.
Yeah, I think what all this shows is that you're never going to be managing editor of Mundial magazine.
Oh, no, totally not. Yeah. Damn, my dreams shattered.
I would quite like that job, but I would be very bad at it because I don't understand any of the things. I see the young people like, oh, that's what the young people are doing these days. Oh, so Hector Bellerin wearing that is a good thing. I'll just take it at face value, though. I feel like my opinion on that is not particularly valid. Also, my opinion on Carlo Ancelotti's Everton's is not particularly valid because I haven't watched 90 minutes of them since he took over. So I've got no idea, really, what he's doing and what he's doing differently. But it seems to be like classic feel-good Carlo. And also, of course, like he's a very experienced manager with lots and lots of success under his belt. And
since the beginning of December, they have lost only to Manchester City and Arsenal.
Yeah, and that Arsenal loss
they're picking up lots of points.
Yeah, so this game should not be taken lightly by any stretch of the imagination because we're on a great run. United are on a great little run, haven't lost for ages, or at least not that I can remember. I feel like we're unbeaten in a few, aren't we? Have I made that up? Anyway, the long and the short of it is we are flaky and vulnerable. So as much chance as there is that we'll turn up, Fernandes will put on a masterclass, will look really good. It feels like a very equal chance that we'll just turn up and be generally kind of bobbins.
Yeah, at Goodison, where I guess our results have been better in recent years, but has in the past been a troublesome ground. There's always a really good atmosphere there when United are in town, for sure. It's a very old-fashioned stadium, very old. They are trying to build a new one, so on the sort of dock side.
That'd be such a shame. I mean, obviously they kind of have to and everything, but that is one of the best grounds in England for crazy old footballness. Being kind of like, you've got the edifice of the Premier League kind of draped over the top of a ground where there's like people living opposite the door.
Basically,
yeah.
Yes. Open your front door, step into Goodison.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's super, super tight.
Yeah.
All the terrace houses around there and always an interesting drive into that part of town, I thought, when I haven't been to Goodison for quite a while, but last time I was there, it's always a bit of an eye-opener. And I think it'll be an eye-opener for a few United players. I mean, Bruno will definitely he won't have an easy time of it, I'm sure, because the atmosphere will be hot and Everton will be around him all the time. No doubt, this will be a proper introduction to English football.
So I just looked up our run of results. We lost to Liverpool and Burnley back-to-back. And that was we lost to Burnley on the 22nd of January. And since then, we won 6-0, beat City 1-0. I mean, we lost that tie, I guess, so it doesn't really count. But then a 0-0 draw with Wolves, beat Chelsea 2-0, 1-1 draw with Bruges, beat Watford 3-0, beat Bruges 5-0. So in a way, you could look at that and go, that's a good run of form. But like...
It is. There's definitely some caveats.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
the two big wins are against like very poor quality opposition. The game in Bruges was a total shambles. The game against Wolves at home was a total shambles. The game against City was an overpraised, like, battling defeat, effectively. Watford were also... I mean, I think we genuinely played well against Watford in the second half of that game.
So, yes, second half, but the first half was terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, as you'd expect with United, this is a very far from what we hope is the finished product.
But
and they, they're not consistent in terms of the quality. But the results are being much more consistent. You're right to say that. So,
but it's not bobbins and super depressing and pointless, which is nice. Like, as it has been. I mean, there were a few games in that run that were bobbins and super depressing and pointless, but at least there's some semblance of hope and excitement. And the Fernandes signing, I think, is a big part of why. Like, just having some genuine creativity in there makes all the difference in the world. And the set piece stuff is so crucial and potentially so crucial. I have to say, though, I find it very difficult to be super optimistic about this game. I'm just not sure that Everton aren't just a bit better than us at the moment. Maybe not overall, but in the context of this game.
Schneidlin and Delphin central midfield. I mean, I think we can take them.
Okay. And we got Scotty Mack and Fred, the new Fred.
Yeah, I wonder whether
Fred.
McTominay, I mean, I guess McTominay has to play her, though. It's a bit of a risk coming back from a knee injury and playing 90 and then 90. Again, you typically wouldn't think he'd be ready for it, but he seems to be superhuman or something like that.
You'd say Solskjaer will roll the dice anyway, wouldn't you? Given our history.
I think so, given the solidity that gives us. And I mean, look, he can bring Matic back in, but it's a lot less dynamic. And we've got an opportunity to dominate that midfield because Richarlison will drop deep, but he won't drop that deep. And so United ought to have an extra man in that midfield at some points during the game. And they do play in a slightly old-fashioned way, Everton. They play 2 wide and 2 up front.
Yeah, which, would definitely cause our defenders problems. And be interesting to see what he does at fullback, really. Or, of course, the possibility that he goes back to the 3 at the back. And I think maybe that's what we will see, actually, thinking about it.
I don't know whether it's necessary, though, because United will always have a spare man at the back then. So always you're wasting that opportunity to sort of dominate through midfield. Yeah. So I would go, if I was choosing, this wouldn't necessarily be the game of the system where I'd go.
Okay, no, I think that makes sense.
I think the chance of the overload is higher, better in midfield anyway. But who knows? I don't know. I'm not a pro coach, and Ollie somehow is.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know that his name is actually pronounced Ula? I had no idea, but Ronnie Johnson was on the Man United podcast, and
with a cracking anecdote about Fergie.
Absolutely brilliant. I was so happy that was shared on social because I really like that podcast, actually. As I've mentioned a few times, I'm really enjoying it generally. This was not one of the better episodes for the whole thing. It was perfectly fine to listen to, but Johnson's anecdotes were kind of pretty good. But this one, which they shared on social, was an absolute cracker. So I didn't have to tell people to listen to the whole episode just for this. But he basically talks about a time that we beat Liverpool at Old Trafford, and all the players in the dressing room, they're all buzzing, and Fergie comes in and he's shushing everyone, and they're like, "Whoa, what's he going to say? What's he going to do?" And he goes, "Listen." And through the walls, you could hear the Liverpool manager having a massive go at the Liverpool team. And Fergie takes a deep breath in and goes, "Love it." It's just lovely. Fantastic. Very good.
Brilliant. So what's your prediction for the United side?
I don't know what I think is going to happen in this game. I'm going to predict a 2-2 draw. I know that's an unusual result, so it probably won't happen.
And the team, I mean, it's De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof,
I wish it was Maguire, Bailly, Shaw, but I'm sure you're right. So yeah, I think it'd be Shaw's back in favour over Williams and actually playing well again, which is nice to see.
He's playing well. It's fair enough. You don't need to burn Williams out. He's got plenty of time in his career. And while Shaw's playing well, it's fair enough. It was slightly unfortunate that Williams had one bad game and then got dropped.
But
when Shaw's had about 5 years of bad games,
but he's played well in that kind of centre back role where he's straight up stealing Chris Wilder's thing. Ollie is and overlapping centre backs. Shaw and Maguire both get forward a lot when they play in that role.
Sure,
but anyway,
so Fred, McTominay or Matic, Bruno. Marcel, I'm going to assume he's not fit, so it's Igoalo, James
I would like to...
Greenwood?
I would much rather see Mata, Igoalo and Greenwood or James, Greenwood, Mata in this game, because I want to see Mata and Fernandes playing together more often, actually, because I think that they add something to each other's game, and Fernandes has to do a lot more all on his own if Mata's not there, so... That's what I'd like to see. But I guess it won't be that. I guess it'll be Ighalo, James, Greenwood, probably. He doesn't seem to like playing Greenwood much either, does he? But
He doesn't. But yeah, maybe this is one just because he has to. Anyway, 2 o'clock on Sunday. You're saying 2-2. I'm going to say 1-1. Draw away at Everton feels like a decent result in the context of all of it. It'd be amazing if we won. I mean, of course, we have done well in the big games. I guess this counts as a big game now because Everton have stormed up the table and we're fighting it out for 6th place.
5th, thank you very much.
Fifth.
When you Google Premier League on a phone, you don't have to press the little down arrow to see where we are anymore. This is like luxury.
Above the fold.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. The one thing
the young'uns won't get that reference. Except your foldable phones, no?
The one thing that we should also add is that the show won't be out on Monday because I'm away on Sunday, and so we're recording on Monday night. Yeah, outrageous. So we'll see you on Tuesday next week with a little preview of MUFC versus Rooney FC.
Oh, looking forward to that one.
See you then.
See you then. Bye now.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.